Hello everyone, Pat Farabee here. This is a video response for Professor Anton. He asks a question in his video which I think is very interesting, which is where do we draw the line in society when making rules to protect people from themselves? Examples he gave were things like seatbelt laws or drug laws, things like that. Uh, the follow-up to his question was, in particular, where do we draw the line when making rules about how old you can be to participate in a particular act, to get married, to drink alcohol, etc. I think these are very good questions, and this is my attempt at answering those. Now, when you start to ponder this question, I think you'll find that you're going to have, in essence, two sides of the line. On one side, you're going to have the individual, and on the other side, you're going to have the society. It's the same sort of issue that you run into when arguing ideas of government. On one end of the spectrum, you have anarchy, which is in favor of the individual, which is, of course, in my opinion, a completely unviable form of government. On the other end, you have communism, where everything you do must benefit the society and only the society, and in my opinion is also a completely unviable form of stable government. So I think that the true answer is somewhere in the middle. I lean towards the right, which is more towards individual freedom. But again, that's all to preference, or as you coined it, ambiguity. I think you're going to find very similar camps in this discussion. You're going to have people who favor complete freedom of the individual. You're going to have people who favor complete protection of society. So how do we start to come up with where on this spectrum we should be? I think personally, where my safety stops and your safety starts, that's where the line should be drawn. As soon as I'm endangering another person, as soon as I'm doing something that is actively endangering other people, then that is an area that could be regulated. For instance, if I want to go out and wrangle rattlesnakes just for fun and capture them with my bare hands, it's really stupid. It could get me killed, but I don't think there should be a law against it. Now, if I take those same rattlesnakes and I toss them, into a crowd of people, yeah, that is where we're drawing the line. Okay, we can't do that. So as long as you're not doing anything that's endangering me, and I'm not doing anything that's endangering you, I don't think there should be anything regulating that, because I think that is in essence the same as regulating morality. Saying that someone has to wear a seatbelt because you think that their life needs to be protected is like saying that you don't think that they should have homosexual sex because you think it's wrong to do that. Now, there are some points that you brought up, particularly the one about drugs, which can be even more ambiguous. For instance, there are certain drugs that I don't think should be banned at all. Marijuana, as an example. I don't think that marijuana harms anybody other than the person smoking it, and the jury's still out on whether or not it really harms the person smoking it. Other drugs, however, PCP as an example. When you take PCP, you become literally a loaded gun. You could go out and murder somebody and not even know what you're doing. It creates in you a danger to society, an active danger to society. So I think that could still be regulated. So again, I think it's where my safety stops and your safety starts. If you're endangering my safety with something that you're doing, then I don't think you should be able to do it. Same way, if I'm endangering something or endangering you with something I'm doing, then there's room for regulation there. I shouldn't be able to do that. Well, I've made a couple attempts at this particular angle. What happened is my camera battery died. I had to move you to the other side of the room. I'm holding you above my head to get light in my face, so I don't, I don't show you this darkness. It's a little wobbly, it's a little uncomfortable. I've had to make a few takes, so I'm going to try to make this quick. I'm going to make this the last take of this. But at any rate, That brings us to the last part of the question, which is kids. What age range, or what age is it appropriate to make adult decisions? Is it even appropriate for us as a society to limit those choices based on age? I think that particular question can be answered very easily if you look at the age of consent around the world. And I'm not talking about the extremes like Saudi Arabia. I'm talking just the Western world. The age of consent ranges from 14 years of age all the way to 18 years of age. I think that shows that countries vary widely on what age they think is appropriate to make adult decisions. Do they have it wrong? No, I don't think they do. I think that it shows that the intent is not to worry about how old you are, really. I think it's about how mature you are, or what decisions you are capable of making reliably and responsibly. And I think that some countries may think that their society does, a different sort of job of preparing kids for those questions. And that's probably a very good reason that their age range is different. I think that if you look on YouTube as an example, we can see that some countries are a little more immature than other countries. But it's kind of fun to be immature. I'm immature. I'm 35 years old. I'm still immature. At any rate, is it okay for us to limit choices until we think they've reached an age when they're mature enough, or should be mature enough, to make that decision? I think it is. I don't think that we should allow 8-year-olds to decide whether or not they should get married. I think that's irresponsible of us, because someone of that age may not even understand what marriage is, let alone understand what sex is, let alone understand what bills are, or any other thing that has to do with marriage, with spending the rest of your life with someone. So I think that should be restricted until they've reached an age that is appropriate. Now, I think the arbitrary assigning of an age, I mean, the only other option really would be to give people a maturity test. Say, are you ready to be married? Fill out this questionnaire, and if you don't pass, you don't get married. I don't think that'd work. So I think the solution that has been adopted pretty much the world throughout is just, if you've reached a particular age, then you're able to make that decision. It's not perfect, but it works, sort of. I think in our country we've got a little backwards. I think that you should be allowed to drink a little earlier, and you should be allowed to shoot and kill people in war a little later. But that's just me. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's been my take on it. Take care. Have a good day.